check. Am I audible at the back? All right, super. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gokul Baja. I head the sales and partnerships team for Cvent, and I've been given the difficult task to educate and entertain everyone here in the room right after a sumptuous lunch. Did you guys enjoy your lunch? Yeah? What did you like more, the mutton or the chicken, or most of you, I was, sorry? The mutton. The tenderloin mutton, oh my God. Brilliant. So, the topic for my presentation today is amplifying the power of live events, right? And I want to start with something. I want to start with the power of human connection. And let me tell you a little story here. A couple of years back, my sister had relocated to Netherlands, okay? And then Rakhi was upon us. Now, obviously, because we were not in the same place, what we did was we went on a Skype call, right? And I was holding this sindoor ka tika in my left hand. I used my third finger and put the tika on my forehead. And then what my sister did is she pointed the camera at her feet, and then I touched the screen. Thereafter, I WhatsApped her an amount that I had transferred into a bank account. And that's how Rakhi was completed, right? So technology brought us together. 2 years hence, she came back, and she lives out of Bangalore. I knocked at her door. Actually, she wasn't expecting me because I was traveling to South Africa, came back to Delhi, flew down to Bangalore. Knocked at her door, she opened up, and I touched her feet again, saying, Happy Rakhi. She wasn't expecting me. Guys, it was very powerful. There was a huge difference. So technology does bring us together, but you can't deny the power of human connection. Let me actually substantiate that with a little video that I have for you guys today.
The minute you talk to someone, the minute you connect with someone, you feel more powerful and less vulnerable. The situation hasn't changed one bit. The reality hasn't changed one bit. You're just suddenly, instantly better able to deal with it. A good analogy is if you're in a big dark room alone in a warehouse. You feel afraid, paranoid, scared. If you're in a big dark warehouse with someone, you laugh and giggle. You know, you're not afraid. And this is one of the fundamental facts of life. One of the fundamental facts of life is that we, in danger and distress, need each other. We need to connect. And one of my fears about modern life is what I call the modern paradox. We have super connected electronically in ways that have changed the world for the better magnificently. But we've been disconnecting interpersonally. And that's why your coming together here is so important. That's why you really couldn't do this conference virtually. Or you could do it, but it wouldn't have nearly the impact. We really need each other. We need the human moment.
I think there's no denying the power of human connection. All of us really agree to that. And statistically speaking, what you would see is meetings and events are the second largest driver of business. Now, take a few seconds and absorb this slide. Meetings and events are the second largest contributor of business. Ironically enough, though, we spend hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars in capturing a visitor who visits our website, as opposed to a captive audience who's listening to you, who's listening to you for a couple of hours to a couple of days, who are unable to capture what they did at that event. Sometimes they're just ghost attendees. We know 100 people came in, but we never know what they did. So what you will realize is that as far as the digital footprint of your visitor or your attendee is concerned, I think we've made some good headway there. I think we're 80–85% there with some ground to cover. But as far as the physical footprint is concerned, we're not there as yet. It's time to bridge that gap. It's time to bring that all together. Now, how does one really bridge that gap? How does one establish the physical footprint of an attendee? Is by making sure that when you look at the MICE ecosystem, there is value for everyone. Everyone in the MICE ecosystem has their objectives, and a technology should be an enabler for them to meet their objectives. The attendee, for example, is at the center of this ecosystem. Now, why are all of us here today? Why do attendees even attend events? We want to educate ourselves. We want to get inspired. Right? Now, I was a part of some fantastic sessions today, and there's so much that I'm taking back today. We want to be educated. When we go back to our offices, to our families, we should be more than what we came with. And secondly, I want to meet you guys. I want to meet my peers. I want to see what's happening in their personal lives and their professional lives. That's very important. But people who are behind the scenes, the organizers, the planners, the thinking minds, the strategic guys who are thinking about these events, what do they want? How do they measure the event? Is it just about, whoa, you know what? The event went smooth. There were no hiccups on the audiovisual side. Food was late on time. No. It's more than that. It's the ROI. What do I get in return? Are my short-term and my long-term objectives being met? Am I generating more leads? Am I increasing the top-line revenue? Or am I building a higher brand recall or brand equity? Whatever your goals are. And for us, some of us who are vendors and partners to these clients, we want to be a strategic arm to that client. We just don't want to be considered those people who are given the job and who just execute it. We want to be the ones who bring insights back to the table. So our execution, a flawless execution, creates a wow. Our insights and our strategic thinking creates value. And that value leads to repeat business and new business, and that's what we all want. The fourth pillar in our MICE ecosystem, our hotels, very simply put, what does a hotel want? Is a year-round occupancy. Now, with these objectives and goals being laid out so clearly, this is the state of our events today. If you look at an event, if you look at the event processes, there's so many moving pieces. Would you all agree? Yeah? There's registration, there's a website, Excel sheets, it's all over the place. My colleague Manpreet is here, who represents our events team, and she exactly knows what I'm saying. So what does this lead to? This leads to a high amount of inefficiency. This leads to wastage of time, wastage of money, and your attendee engagement not being as per the standards as you'd like to. What you want to do instead is bring all those moving pieces together into a tight event management platform that's integrated. Now, what that does for you is allows you to save time, save cost, drive unprecedented levels of engagement, and make some money in the bargain. That's what you want. So let's start with something very simple. Let's say if I wanted to look for a hotel for my upcoming event, what's the most popular thing that I would do? I'd probably Google it. Or I'd look up my phone book, my directory, and find the people that I know at different hotels. What if I could just go to a marketplace, do a quick search in a city, find some hotels that can actually accommodate my business, and in 3 clicks, find exactly what I'm looking for? A huge time saver for me as a planner. And for the hotel, it gives them multiple branding options, because now they're exactly being put in front of people who make the most sense to them. MICE planners. They're able to identify themselves in front of those planners. They're able to get that visibility and in return, get more business. So that's the sourcing part. That's the venue selection part. But look, like the event today, all the other events that happen across the world are an extension of the brand of the principal company. Right? So you want to create websites, you want to create mobile apps because they're an extension of your brand. And technology today allows you to do that without any technical knowledge whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. Mind you, tech today is so consumerized that you don't need to understand technology. How is that? Right? And if you look at it from an attendee perspective, where does the attendee journey really start from? All of you were invited to this event. You guys went ahead and registered. That's where the essence really starts from. So the time the attendee looks at an email, and the time, I'm sorry, I didn't click, okay. The time the attendee looks at an email and the time the attendee starts to register himself for the event, that's where the essence really starts. So you want to make sure that the attendee feels that somebody's actually taken the time out to write a personalized email. There's that degree of connection. They should feel that somebody's actually taking the pain in knowing what my interests are, what sort of meal preferences do I have. Every little detail really matters a lot. And this experience actually continues at the time when they check into the event. Now, as much as you'd like 1,000 people walking into your event, if it gets a little bit chaotic, the attendees are going to have a bad experience. Well, the technology today allows you to turn around the check-in of an attendee. Check in, name badge printed in under 3 seconds. A huge time saver. A wow factor for the attendee. And for everyone who's a planner, it gives you insights as well. how many people did I had scheduled to attend my event, and how many people actually showed up. Now, I think most of us have been guilty of doing this, and tell me if I'm wrong, but when some of us attend events, what do? We walk into an event, check ourselves in, grab the collateral, get a coffee, a muffin, get a comfortable chair on a table, and what do? We look at our smartphones, don't we? Come on, let's agree to it, right? We do that. Is there a way we can change that behavior? That's a human behavior. Is there a way we can change that behavior? The answer is no. But is there a way we can leverage that behavior? And the answer is yes. Is by building a mobile application that's centered around your event. Imagine the power that you're now bestowing in the hands or in the palms of the attendee. Anything that they want to learn about the event, the schedule, who the speakers are, what sort of content is being talked about. Attendees can make themselves heard through surveys, live polls, questionnaires, networking right through the app. Imagine the power that you are now giving in the hands of your attendees. I'm gonna pick up something from what Mr. Nair said in his session. He was talking about incentives. He said, you know, the real essence of an incentive is when you've excited people enough that for next year, they're thinking about their targets already, that they want to be a part of that incentive. Well, the mobile app allows you to do that. I have seen some of our clients use mobile app to disseminate information. Hey guys, it was a fantastic incentive trip. Hope you're geared up for the next edition. Everyone who hits 100% of their targets gets a reserved seat on the incentive trip. So it works like an amazing communication tool. And needless to mention, because it's all digital, you actually save a lot of money in printing cost. So let's just quickly summarize what has happened here. I started off with saying that we need to establish the physical footprint of an attendee. That's exactly what you did, digitally. What you did is, right from the time his journey started, when he responded to marketing, registered for the event, checked in, downloaded the app, attended sessions, what kind of booths did he visit, all that journey is being mapped out. Why is that important? Why do I need to map out my attendee? Is there something that I can do with that data? Of course you can. And let me tell you how. Let me tell you how you can use this data to your advantage. Think about this. Let's just forget event management software. Let's just look at marketing automation, CRM, and customers, right? Now, some of us in the room, we've had certain softwares we have certain softwares that we use in our day-to-day lives. Like a couple of us would use a marketing automation system for our marketing efforts. Some of us use CRM systems to make our sales guys more efficient. So there's that knowledge pool, there's that data pool. Merge that with what you've collected at your event. Now what you have is the entire attendee journey mapped out in front of your eyes. Right from the time when they were a visitor on your website, to the time they were sitting on your database, to what kind of events they were invited for, what did they attend, what sessions did they attend, what booths did they visit, what kind of conversations did they have. And how that creates a wow factor for the attendee, or how it makes sense to you guys, is now you're able to segment your audience better. Like if today I know that people on this table are more interested in mobile apps because of the kind of responses that I got, I'm going to send them collateral for mobile apps. If I know this table or this audience is particularly interested in association-related events, I'm going to send them information that makes the most sense for them. So you are able to target, segment your audience. And because you're able to connect all the dots, your conversation in the boardroom changes. Manpreet, when she's sitting in the boardroom with Reggie Agarwal, who's the CEO, you know what she says? She doesn't say, Reggie, I'm doing 200 events, I'm going to spend $2 million. No, she says, Reggie, I'm going to do 200 events, my expense is going to be $2 million, but guess what? Last year, I influenced $23 million in pipeline. How's that? Who wouldn't mind that? You spend X dollars and you get 10 extra in return. Does that make sense? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the power of insights. What these insights really allow you to do is to reflect back on what went well, what didn't go well, and leverage that data to make better executive decisions for your future events and really amplify the power of human connection. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen, and if you want to learn more about how event tech can change the way you do business, we're actually right behind at the end of the conference room under a booth called Cvent. Thank you so much. You've been wonderful.